it's Crystal. It is October 11th, 2025. We live in Connecticut and it is the weekend. So we are spending some time here in the garden. It's the first time we've been home on the weekend in 5 or 6 weeks. We've been away every weekend. It's kind of nice to be home, to be honest with you. We already did some stuff here, like we took the kids apple picking and we got pumpkins. It was a lot of fun. So I'm gonna be canning up probably some apple pie filling this weekend or sometime early next week with the apples that I got. Today we are trying to get as much done out here as possible because we are forecasted to be getting a nor'easter tomorrow, which is Sunday, and into Monday, I believe. And we're just forecasted to get a lot of rain, a lot of wind. And my goal in the garden today is just to clean out a lot of the dead vines, like the pumpkins and the squash that are covered in powdery mildew. I want to get those out of the garden. I don't really want those to wash into the soil too much, so I just kind of want to clear all that stuff out. And I have some vines behind me I'm going to clear out from pumpkins that we harvested already. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to go around and see what we can harvest. A lot of cherry tomatoes I think I can get today. Very early blushing tomatoes, and I want to get those out before we get a lot of rain because they'll just crack if I leave them on the plants. In my travels of driving around the area, I've seen a couple different gardens at people's houses when I'm looking out the window. And yesterday we were just kind of doing some stuff to prepare for the storm that we're going to be getting. Like we had to bring our garbage to the dump, and then we stopped and got a bunch of hay to stock up on for our goats. I had seen a garden and it looked like all their pepper plants had died because we had had a frost. Not last night, the night before. And I filmed a video before that and I was nervous that I maybe should have harvested everything. I'm glad I didn't because my plants are doing just fine. Overall, they're all still hanging in there and still producing tomatoes. So I'm just gonna leave them in as long as possible. We aren't forecasted to get near frost temperatures for a while. We might be in the low 40s next week at some point, but I'm thinking we got between 32 and 33 degrees. So I think we hit that frost mark, but it didn't seem to affect our plants too much. And I'm grateful for that because I was not ready to harvest all the things yet. And honestly, I'm still not. So I'm going to leave many of the things on there, like the poblanos are still growing. I'm not going to get those off the plants. And it's supposed to stay pretty warm, like springtime temperatures over the next week or so. The other thing I want to make sure I harvest today is ground cherries, because if I don't want things sitting on the ground when we get a lot of rain. So what I'll probably do is shake the plants and let all the ground cherries that are going to drop, and then we'll harvest all of those. First things first, I'm going to clean out some of the plants in our garden. This plant has been a really good producer for me. It was the yellow crookneck squash from Paige's Seeds, and it was fantastic. It had 3 or 4 different plants growing off of the main vine, and we got tons of squash from it this year. This is the early prolific straight neck squash from Baker Creek, and I had it staked up and then the vine came down and now it's crawling across the ground, and it actually looks really healthy over here, and there's a squash on there. So I think I'm just gonna remove all the dead leaves and leave it to see what we get from it, you know, if it's still producing. We're going to start with these ground cherries here. They are Cossack's pineapple ground cherry from Fruition seeds. This is where I got the seeds a couple of years ago, I think. Okay, these are the honey drop cherry tomatoes from Hudson Valley Seed Company. And there's also Sunrise Bumblebee. And Pink Bumblebee. And those both came from Baker Creek. I see some Moonbeam grape. These are from MIgardener. And then I've got these chocolate cherry ones from Sereniseed. Rosella cherry tomatoes from Baker Creek. These ones are volunteers. I've already collected some of the ones from the beds behind us that were seeds that I planted. In this mess over here, we've got red cherry tomatoes that came up on their own. I threw some trellising in here beginning of summer and all the trellising fell over, which I'm not super surprised about. These originally came from Dollar Tree and they're pretty good. Found a couple of black cherry tomatoes and a little bit of spoon tomatoes. These are from Baker Creek. San Marzano tomatoes. These are a mixture of maybe San Marzano from seed that I started and Martino's Roma. I think the San Marzano from seed that I started was from Sereniseed, and the Martino's Roma came from Baker Creek. But they're very similar. And I'm going to be taking anything that's starting to blush. So these Opalka ones, these came from MIgardener, but they turn a nice red and they will indoors. And LaRoma. These are Valencia. Those ones look kind of yucky. I'm just going to leave them. And Belgium Giant. Brown Sugar. And Amish Paste. And these are Roma VF from Dollar Tree.
Go on.
right, you guys, so, oh no, it's starting to get windy. It's happening. Everybody hold on. So we got everything harvested out of the garden that I felt like harvesting today. I still have carrots in there, and the brassica bed I need to get into and check out and see if I can harvest some of the kale. There's still lots out there, peppers, but I'm done. Can't do it anymore today. Oh, and I'm really glad that I got those yucky vines out too, because I don't want those to get compacted into the ground. I'd rather just get the yucky stuff out before it all gets washed into the soil. I got one Long Island cheese pumpkin. I forgot to mention that, and that was because it fell off the vine when I was removing the vine. It was mostly done growing, I think. There was a little bit of green on it, but I think it'll be all right. I still have a couple other vines in there for the Long Island cheese pumpkin from that one plant. That one did tremendously well for me this year. It's one of my favorites to grow. I think that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me today while I did some work in the garden and harvested, and I will see you next time after the storm, and we will see how the garden did. Okay, bye!